A very good morning to all my dear students of class 7. We are welcome back again in your second term portion. The first chapter, or you can say the fifth chapter of your second term is about architecture as power, okay, forts and sacred places. Now architecture as power. Now see, first portion you have your architecture as one of the most powerful. Now what kind of powerful we are talking about is that architecture in the medieval time has become one of the most powerful. Okay, the rulers, okay, you can say the ancient rulers whoever has come to India, they have invaded many parts of country. They have invaded our country in different way. Okay, and they have set up different examples. Okay, they have set up different example to help our generation to know that their existence was still there, or you can say the existence was there in that period of time. Okay, so in this chapter we'll learn that how the architecture has helped the people to understand that the reign and their kingdom was so being powerful. So let us start. The first part, look at here. They have made palaces, temples, forts, mosques and tombs. Okay, the main thing what have they have made? They have made this temples, they have made forts, they have made mosques, they have made and tombs. And why they have made this kind of different kind of you can say temples? It was so regimented that they wanted to show the people, okay, show the people that they were the symbol of power. Got it? That they were so powerful that being an example, they wanted to set an example to the other generation that their reign was so powerful, so they have set up this kind of things. Okay, and their names were not forgotten by the later generation. Got it? Now, apart from these palaces, apart from this mosque and all, they have also prepared different kind of parks. Okay, different park they have set up, different gardens they have set up. Why they have different set up this kind of thing? To help the people, so that the subjects, okay, during their reign, they wanted to help the other peoples. They wanted to help the travelers to make different kind of guest house. Okay, they wanted to gain a different kind of, you can say, profit. One kind of profit they wanted to gain from the subjects. Okay, so for that reason also they have set different parks, different gardens and different rest house. Got it? And now when one king will make any kind of temple or any kind of mosque, you can say, that king, suppose one is ruling the country and another ruler, he will come and defeat with the present king. Okay, so what happened when this king will be getting a demise, when his kingdom will be demise, so this present king will be having his power in the present king, or will be powerful in that where the first king was having their country, and how he was ruling, whatever names have been ruling there, that will be name everything to that second king. Okay, so this was for this reason also the power has been transferring from one king to another. Okay, invading armies almost always target monuments. Different kind of armies they used to do. So what happened when they target the monuments, the name has been replaced to the another king. Okay, so let us start that how another king. Okay, what happened when the another king will go and defeat the other areas. Now see, how they used to defeat. Now see, by plundering and destroying the monuments, the invaders sought to remove all visible symbols of the former ruler. Okay, they used to wipe out everything from the former ruler. Now they don't want the existence of the former ruler. So what they used to do? That everything they used to destroy, especially the names. Okay. In place of the destroyed monuments, the invaders often built new ones to mark their victory. Okay, and to establish themselves as the new rulers of the land. Okay, suppose if a king, suppose this is the X king, okay, and this is the Y king. Okay, now if X and Y king will have a battle, if they will have a battle, so what will happen? The X will defeat the Y, okay, and whatever things the X is having, the Y is having, it will come that? That means the former king will not be existence. Okay, the later king who has come, that will take everything to him. The monuments, different you can say the area, the palace, the kingdom, everything will come to him. Why? So that he will take everything, so to make him more powerful. Got it? Excuse me. So this will help the you can say the king, or you can say the another king to gain some more power. So this was the main part of architecture as a part. Okay. Now architecture has been so famous. Okay, in the time of medieval India, when India was in the medieval period, at that time we having a different architecture has came about. Okay, so in this next class we will be learning that how architecture and different designs has come in all over parts of India. Now see here, in architecture in medieval India, the things has divided into two parts. Okay, first is your religious monuments, that is temple and mosque. Okay, next you have secular monuments like forts, tombs, havelis, that is palaces. Okay, you have baths, gardens. Okay, bauris, that is well. Okay, constructed for protection, shelter or entertainment. So first part we'll learn about the different shape. Okay, how the construction was happen in the religious monuments. In the later classes we'll be learning about the fort, tombs and different palaces and different gardens. So let us start with your religious monuments, the design of the temples. Now see here, temple architecture. Two styles of temple architecture. Okay. See here first. First is your Nagara, that is this kind of temple or this design you will find in North India. Got it? Next you have Dravida style. You will find this kind of temples in South India. Okay. And next is Vesara. Vesara is the temples, or you can say the style you will find in the Deccan and parts of Central India. Got it? So these are the design that was made, okay, by the rulers, okay, of that dynasty. Okay. And how they used to make? They used to make by using large precisely cut blocks of stones like sandstone, laterite and granite. Okay. These metals, or you can say these minerals, were used in forming of the temples. Now one by one we will be learning about the different design of the Nagara and Dravida style. Now see here, if you see the temple, if you see this rough diagram, you will find here that Nagara style, look at the diagram, Nagara style, you can see the temple has designed in different way. This is a rough diagram, you can see in your book, it is given in properly. First we will start with the temple. Okay, here you will have the, first is your Mandapa. Mandapa means where the follows are assembled. Okay. Next you have the Garbhagriha. Garbhagriha means where the deities are kept. Okay, where the god and goddesses are kept. Got it? Next you have above Garbhagriha. Above Garbhagriha you have your Shikhara or Vimana. Shikhara means your tower. One kind of tower you might have seen in the before where the god and goddesses are kept. You might see one kind of tower is there. Okay, that tower is called the Shikhara or Vimana. Got it? After that, you have here Amalaka. Now, Amalaka is one kind of disc. Okay, round structure you have like a disc, and that is above the tower. That is above this Shikhara. Round you have one kind of disc metal. Okay, that's designs you will find in the temple. Okay. Next you have your Amalaka. If you want to say, now see here the stone disc placed on the top of Shikhara. Got it? Next you have your Pradakshina. See, this Pradakshina is where the followers, or you can say the different devotees will walk. Okay, they will have a round walk to pay the homage to the god. Got it? And next, here you have one kalasha. Kalasha is one kind of pitcher, one kind of form of a pitcher that is placed above the tower. Got it? And after that, here you will have one flag. Okay, this is the style of your Nagara. You can say the Nagara, where the Nagara style, or you can say this formation or this design are very famous in your Nagara style. Got it? Now, in your next class, you will be learning about the Dravidian style. See how the Dravidian style temples are little bit different from your Nagara style. See, Dravidian style temples. This kind of temples you mostly found in South India. Especially if you go to South India, or if you have seen different kind of South Indian any kind of programs and all, then you might have seen different temples are been designed, especially in a shape of a pyramid. Okay, so if you have been to your Tirupati temple, okay, and if you have been to any Tanjore, okay, this kind of temples, they are mostly in a Dravidian style. Okay, so the temples are in a staircases. Okay. First, they have your entrance, that is called Gopura. Gopuram is a curved gate, the first entrance of the temple. Got it? Next, you have the same way. First, here you have your Shikhara, the tower, okay, and above it you have your Kalasha, then you have your flag. Got it? But here, the Vimana, this stair, okay, the stair that design in your temples, okay, that design is called as Vimana. Vimana are the steps, okay, the steps that are shown in your temple. That is called the Vimana. Got it? So this was the Dravidian style. And if you talk about the Vasura style, the Vasura is the mixture of your Dravidian and your Nagara. Okay, these two parts has mixed up in the Vasura style, where you find the temples are designed in a different way. So this is all about your temples and about your different design has taken place in your medieval India. In next class, we will be learning about the Indo-Islamic. Like temples has been designed in the same way, the mosque or any other, you can say the forts and any other palaces and gardens has been set up by different rulers. So we'll learn in your next class.